Hi, I am Bodil. I'm part of the Lausanne Movement Network, and I'm one of the catalysts for Jewish evangelism. But actually, I'm here in the role to just host my three co-catalysts in some ways. You know, there is John. Well, you can introduce yourself when you get there. Let me just say what we are. We are networks that are reaching people on the move, people that are either unengaged or less reached, and people that are traveling and hiding in different universities. So we've got the Least Reached People group, we've got the International Student group, and we've got the Jewish Evangelism group. Why don't we go with you, Dan, first? Jewish Evangelism. You are a catalyst for that.
Yeah, so my name is Dan Serd, and I'm a catalyst together with Bodil on Jewish evangelism. I'm really excited to be here because Jewish people are everywhere. There are Jewish people in Israel, of course, but there's a lot of diaspora Jewish people, actually more outside of Israel than in Israel. And we have students who are Jewish and international Jewish students as well. And there's also among the Jewish people, there is many who are less reached, and most particularly the ultra-Orthodox Jewish people who are the most unreached, unengaged urban people on the globe today.
Mm.
So, Francine,
Yeah.
what is your network about?
Yes, so I'm Francine de Pater. I live in the Netherlands and I'm catalyst for the International Student Ministry Network. We call ourselves the WIN team because it stands for Worldwide International Student Ministry Network. And so we're focusing on students, and many students nowadays, and more so, are studying in another country, at least for a while, but sometimes also their complete studies. And we see numbers growing. And yeah, so we also want to reach them and take care of them, love the foreigner as the Bible teaches us.
Well, John, take it from here.
Well, I get to represent the least reached people's network and sort of on the steering team of that. And this is such a relevant aspect for global evangelization because we are losing ground in terms of the gap between the least reached populations of the world is growing in proportion to the percentage of believers in Jesus in the world. And so just as we've so many international students, so many Jews are a part of the least reached peoples, we have over 7,000 unique, distinct ethno-linguistic groups in the world that are very far from access to the good news of Jesus Christ. So this is as relevant as ever for the global church. So it's a privilege to represent that that part of conversation around evangelism.
And I'm sure that each one of you, thank you for a brief sort of, description of what you're doing. And I'm sure that all of you could enlarge that so much more. But, I think what the idea we had by bringing the three of you together was really to say, what can you bring to the other issue groups that that you have a focus on? Maybe we can take it from there. You can also then think about what do you want them? How do you want the other issue groups to be a blessing for the issue that you have? Dan, you want to go first and say, what are you bringing to this table when you talk about these reads and international students coming, from the Jewish track, and what can they bring to your table?
Yeah, so when you look at least reached people group, normally you think of, rightfully so, of people who are in remote, the ends of the world people. And that is certainly a great need. And many islands and maybe even tribes all over the world, right, are unreached. They don't have missionaries or the Bible accessible to them. And so many times we look beyond our own cities. Every global city with a Jewish population, and on the face of the earth, we're talking about mainly Western cities, have unreached people, unengaged people. And these happen to be the ultra Orthodox Jewish community. Now, among the ultra Orthodox, there are many different sub communities, and they are completely unengaged and unreached. And most people think of Jewish people, they think of maybe people in Israel, or maybe people who are just in, in cities across the globe. And you don't think of Jewish people as international students, but many times they are. And we've seen more and more Israelis who live Israel and go to universities outside of the country, also going to trek and travel, but specifically for international students. And what we, as the Jewish Evangelism Network, what we can bring to the table is awareness. We can bring some training, some expertise in how to reach Jewish people and how to love them and how to care for them. But also, we would be glad to bring in resources beyond that as well, and maybe even financial. I don't know, but we're very, very much wanting to have this conversation so that we can collaborate, because Jewish people are everywhere. They're in the workplace, they're unreached, they are in our students, they're diaspora. Jewish evangelism really includes all those other networks. So
Can I just echo on that? Just because the last October and again in April, really strategic times to be in Israel. Actually, it was really difficult when the war started, but being at the Western Wall during the Feast of Tabernacles in October, and this crowded, densely crowded area with people, literally Jews from all over the world and all types of Jewish faith there, and it just in a fresh way touched my heart. I'm part Jewish too. My father's Jewish, and I was just weeping for the lostness of people crying out to their God. But just beautiful. So many families with like 10 children or more. I'm really populating the. And I was just, in a fresh sense, we need more laborers to bring the good news. So, amen.
Francina, Dan told you why he needs you, for the international students. What can you bring to his table, or how can you take him up on what he's saying, being supportive with
Yeah,
yours?
no, absolutely. I think we have great links between our networks, because what we would like to do is to reach out to international students wherever they are, and among them, indeed, also Jewish students. And we're always also looking, for resources to train, like how to engage with the different people groups among the students. So to increase in knowledge and understanding. And you already said that that's something that you could share. So that is, I think, a really great idea. Um, yeah, and what we could bring is that we do international student ministry all the time, and we could also be connected, and also because we see students normally for a short time. It could be even 6 months, but maybe maximum 4 years. That's already long. But then they go somewhere else, and then we are always also on the lookout for connections, so that we can really also, that they have other places where they can go to with their questions, and where they will also be loved and cared for. So I think this is something that we could, where we could collaborate, and also with the least reached people groups. Yeah, I'm so interested to hear what you guys are doing, and I think that's we can share like the way that we work, and also to see like, are you're reaching also students among those people, and again network and work together. I think where we can, because we're only scratching the surface with international student ministry. There are some places where there's even nothing happening, but if it's even already quite well developed, I think then also sometimes I've calculated that we reach only 1% of the international students. So there's so much more to be done. And I think that's why we need to collaborate also with one another.
Can I just add to that? Because, as one hosting a lot of international students in my own home, I just know how open people are, when they come to a home. And I think it's the same. People on the road, people moving, that's the chance where they are looking for some kind of connection, some kind of relationship. And that's why we need the whole church to be engaged. It's not something we as specialists can do. We really need everybody to see what they can do in this area here to reach out to them. What would you like Dan to help you with?
Oh, for both, I think I always say loving on international students is the lowest hanging fruit. It's so accessible because everyone wants friendship and a sense of belonging. And the tragedy is I think there was a statistic. There were so many Saudi students in the United States, and 95% had never been invited into the home of a local person. That is a tragedy because it's a missed opportunity. But those that are invited in, we use a strategy called host to home. And when you host an international person, whether they're a refugee, asylum seeker, an international student, or however they've come, you all of a sudden you've given that honor to that. Their family back home will welcome you. So when you show hospitality, the open doors in the home culture and some of these places that are inaccessible to missionaries, but you go as an honored guest and you have access to hundreds of people and families because you've loved on their son, daughter, cousin, sister.
I'm sure that was a catchword for you, Dan, about hospitality, because I think that's one of the things that we've also tried to encourage within Jewish Event. Want to just, elaborate a bit on that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's such a part of Jewish culture and of Jewish life to share your home and be hospitable. And there've been so many opportunities for us in Jewish evangelism to encourage the church to host and to reach out to your Jewish neighbors, maybe international students, your Jewish co-workers, by just offering them maybe a gift basket on one of the Jewish holidays, or just inviting them over, just so that you can show them love and care. Right now, within the Jewish world, with the war that was already mentioned here, Jewish people are they feel alone many times. They feel fearful. We've seen the rise of anti-Semitism all across the world. So right now, extending that olive branch, that invitation, and being hospitable and loving towards Jewish people is definitely a key for us as the church as we think about reaching Jewish people with the gospel.
And there's especially, there are people within our Asian network that have set up sort of a track of hosting Israeli travelers when they go, just inviting them in. And that has really opened up a lot with. We should maybe just, well, first of all, I want to say how great it is to discover, what it is that we can share, what we can do in common and have this common heart for that. And I think grateful for Lausanne to bringing us together in this way here. John, one last comment, before we close this one here, and then we'll. What do you want to say to your friends here?
I think when we think of the emerging generation of international students, they're not all young people, but the majority, when we think of reaching and sharing the good news of Jesus with our Jewish friends and neighbors, and working together towards what we call the least reach, it's the need for authentic Christian living that is respectful in our witness. And I think all of this are desiring and need respectful witness, that our lifestyles are the fragrance of Christ, and not that we're trying to coerce people into our ideologies. And I think we would all affirm that together. That's how we work together.
So, Francina, one request from your colleagues here. One.
For both of them. Let's cooperate. I think that's really good that we discovered one another, and let's just see what can we do together, and how can we just reach even more students, more people.
Dan, how do you want to take it from here?
I'm looking forward to collaborating. As Francine was sharing, I was wondering if an international students, they come to faith, they get discipled on their university campus. How wonderful it would be if they become a missionary and they go to the ends of the earth, to reach one of the least reached people groups. So I think that there is so much that we can do together. And that's really what Lausanne is all about. That's the spirit of Lausanne, to come together and to collaborate in bringing the gospel to the whole earth, to all nations.
I'm sure that we can be a blessing to one another. I think we've also done what the Lausanne leadership really wants us to do, to be blessing and cooperating one another. So thank you guys, for putting words to this one here and sitting together and to doing this one.
Thank you.
It was a great one. Thank you so much.
Wonderful.